formats working group, and this time I can safely say I can take very little to no credit for any of the new developments. It'll be a bit of a recap and some outlook for the future and a little bit of update. And some of it has already been mentioned by either Tom or Arthur just now. So just to recap, so this file format that we've been working on is supposed to encompass all these different aspects that are linked to the data, standardize it and make it more useful, make it compliant with FAIR principles, and so on. And so far, we've been focusing on a sort of human and machine readable, so YAML format, this .ort format. It's been implemented in some places, and this ORSO library, which has been mentioned, exists to make it easier to read, write, and check this ORSO format. So you may or may not have heard of it. It's a Python library. You can use it. And recently, I believe Brian has extended it to also output a binary like Nexus format, which obviously can contain more data, possibly have some other use cases compared to the text format. So that's perhaps something that's relatively new. You've also already heard about the simplified model language that Jochen has promoted and worked on with others, and you've seen it in action in the. So it's now being used. It works within this SLD database, thanks to Arthur. It's implemented in ORSO, and I believe Arthur can correct me. It's also accepted by GenX, which means that if you load a file that contains that, GenX will automatically build that model for you. So this is important for various aspects. For experimental planning, it makes these files more self-contained. So if you also have the model information in there, that really enables you or others to fit the data or check the fits that are published and so on. So data analysis, I've just mentioned that if you load it in, you get the model built for free, so you get a head start there. And also in the light of what we've seen this morning with the AI and machine learning business, it should hopefully provide an easier access for training. So I was going to ask about how easy it is to do this training, because Vladimir just said, you can just train it for your specific model. But in my experience, it's not always for the uninitiated user quite so easy to use that. So hopefully that should help in that regard. And that's basically all that's happened. I think there have been a few discussions around keywords when it came down to the implementation of the ORT format. Some of the information is maybe not always readily available. So the question was whether we should change which keywords and entries were mandatory, how stringent the format should be, and so on and so forth. So I think a lot more discussion is necessary there. We need to do kind of the same with the Nexus file format, and I think it'd be good to have more input from the community in this. So I think it is something potentially very useful for everybody. But in order to increase the uptake and the usage of this format, I think it'd be good to get as many people involved as possible. So that's why I put in here. There's this also Slack channel, which people can join. And also, Jochen and I were talking about maybe having some regular meetings, perhaps every 2 months or so, which are open to all, to get some more input and get some more traction with this to disseminate and increase the uptake. So we've eyeballed the 31st of July For the first one of these meetings, obviously we'll publicize more detailed information later. And unless Johan has anything to add, I think that's it from me.